Me in the chat, taking on the fight. Windows computer issues, we gonna make it right. Got that brilliant tech advice, 6-day a week. Yeah, we gonna help solve it all. No need to ignite.
Okay. May 14th, 2024. I've got extra audio in my ear that I don't think you guys heard because I didn't have desktop audio turned on. May 14th, 2024, 9 a.m. on a, I don't know, what is it, Tuesday? Got to be a Tuesday, right? Yeah, yesterday was Monday. Yeah. Alice, opening credits to the show. Did you hear that other audio? That was not opening credits to the show. But you should have heard the bumper that plays. Alice says, yes, you did hear the second audio. It was an advertisement on a incognito window that I have open, but I didn't have desktop audio turned on, so it shouldn't have been coming on. Now I have desktop audio turned on, so SpeakerBot should be able to come through. And I'm turning off the repeating. If anyone has a question in the chat room, this would be a good time to ask it. If you are in the chat room and find that you can't participate in chat because you're seeing something like this, or you come down here and it says live commentary mode, you click in there and you can't type anything. Well, that's because you have to become an approved user. And the way you do that is put a comment on any of my videos and ask to be become an approved user. It's very easy to do that, and it's only because I've got a troublemaker troll that I have to guard against. I have a new way to treat him if he shows up again. I just have a new way to treat him over here. This is what we'll do. We'll use that on him. How about that? Just kidding. I have that up here on my desk so that I can be reminded to reorder it. Jeff Ryman says he didn't see a message today from Dennis. I guess he was watching Dennis's stream and didn't see the redirect to my show, because Dennis asked here earlier, did my YouTube stream redirect here? I wouldn't see it unless I happen to have my panel open at the time. The only way, Dennis, I know that you could choose it is if you're monitoring my live stream when that triggers, because YouTube doesn't give me any residual notice that happened. But thank you, Steve Dodd, Rand Israel, Alice, Josh, hello everybody, Bobby Warren, Jeff Ryman, Dennis, Carl J. One moment. I'm drinking hot tea to try to deal with my throat this morning. I don't really perceive myself as allergies, but I seem to be more congested during the springtime like this. Ken Stout, hello. Speedy C, Ran Israel. You need at least 2 trolls to apply rate. It says that on the instructions, on the directions on the back of the bottle. You're right. Dennis to Jeff, I may have selected the wrong Future Doug video. Oh, but I only have one future video. I don't have any others scheduled in advance. Update Tuesday. Oh, thank you, Josh, for mentioning that. I have a couple reminders set up to remind people about that, and I typically always don't notice those reminders until like Wednesday. But yeah, update Tuesday today. So if I have 2 computers that I connected to last night and deferred updates to Saturday. Those are on 2 computers. That one is a peer-to-peer server in an office, and the other is the senior attorney in an office who always has lots of programs open and will not restart her computer during her workday because she's got too much stuff open. If her computer downloads the updates, some of them will slow the computer down and even cause some things not to work right until the computer gets restarted. So because that's been a recurring problem, occasionally on some months, I have taken to connecting to her computer just before Update Tuesday, defer updates until Saturday, and then on Saturday I'll connect to her computer. I'll close down all her programs because she won't even close down her programs for the weekend. And I'll close down her programs and restart the computer. And she does know to save her work in progress because they occasionally have, power outages and stuff. So she's learned to do that. So I know it's okay for me to go in and shut down her computer, her programs, and restart her computer. John Williams going to watch later. Thank you, John. Usually see a message on Doug's channel when the redirect has occurred, but it only stays on for some number of seconds. I don't know how many seconds. Not very long. Maybe about 10 seconds, it seems like. Dennis says, thanks for that. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. How many times can we go back and forth?
Jim KJ3N said it's Patch Tuesday.
Patch Tuesday instead of Update Tuesday. All right, that's fine. That's probably a more commonly accepted term. Unless he just joined in and didn't hear us already talk about that. There's Dennis's premiere today. I already have a redirect set up for Ken Stout's show. I think it's a premiere at the top of the next hour. Lawn Dog, on the subject of deferring the update till Saturday, how do you do that? I don't remember anything other than put off for a week or something like that as a choice in my understanding. All right.
I've said it is a premiere.
It is a premiere. All right, I'm hitting the Windows key, and SpeakerBot is working for me. I assume it's working for you. And then I type update settings. That's just my habit of how to get into the update settings screen. Then go to advanced options right here. Don't bother with this pause updates because that just gives you the 1 week or other numbers of weeks. But go into advanced options and come to, of course, that was Windows 10 that I was doing that on. I think I've discovered before that this Windows 11 I don't think gives us specific dates, does it? Restart, and I don't want restart as soon as possible. 6 optionals, delivery optimization, update policies, no. And Windows 10, it's in here on advanced options to delay updates, and you can click on a calendar and actually pick the calendar date. So here in Windows 11, hang on, we only get extending week by week. Who was the brainiac that decided that was a good idea? Take away capabilities from us. That's kind of a theme with Windows 11, isn't it? Yeah, there are some things. Is there some other place to pause Windows 11 to a particular date? That's just going to resume it. Now I just extended for a week, so that took it further out into the future. Let's see if anybody gives me something better for Windows 11. No. And Lawn Dog, I think, is on Windows 10. I understand where I should be looking. I'm starting to have moments of dementia. Memories. Building more memories for you. Wait a minute. Is moments of dementia the same thing as building memories? Lawn Dog is Windows 10. Josh, his job is done. What did he do? What did he tell? Oh, he told us about Update Tuesday. Yeah. It's your job every month, Josh, the day before or on Tuesday or even Monday. It's your job from henceforth to remind me. I am delegating that, assigning that to you. Do you accept? If you accept your mission, put a 1 in chat. Happy Tuesday from Tim. Absent memory. Alice, Kerry said on a video last week, he said to keep a PC in good shape and lifespan, to put a PC in sleep mode and not turn off the PC. Yeah, the idea behind that is you keep the electronics on because electronic components, kind of like a car engine, the most damaging time is when they go from a cold state to a warm state. So just don't ever turn the computer off. Putting it into sleep mode keeps some power going to the chips. So that would be a reasonable thing to do. You know how technicians are. We want to know exactly how to do things very specifically and to the point, and use the right terminology. Yeah, I think that's the right way to pronounce that. Tim's going to go live pre-coding. Live or pre-coding a Fortnite live stream or video. Pre-recording, I'm sure. You're welcome to put a link into chat. Lawn Dog going to purchase another NVMe. My intention is to make a dual boot system, Windows 10 and 11. You can have a dual boot system on one drive. You don't have to have a second NVMe. You can have it if you just make an extra partition available, then start the install procedure. And when it asks what partition you want to install on, choose the partition that's not occupied yet. That'll give you a dual boot on the same drive if you have enough space on the drive. Depending on circumstances, it may be better to do it as a separate drive, or maybe better to do it on the same drive. Depends upon some circumstances and what you want to do. It's been a very, very long time since I've messed with dual boot systems. It's so easy, so easy. On 10, you can pick a date under Windows Update Advanced Options. That's exactly right. On 11, you can't. Why? Fire somebody over that. Gee, mini Christmas, are you kidding me? Channel comments. Matthew Barnes. I wanted to clarify. Let's get that zoomed in a little more. I wanted to clarify my comment regarding Go Johnny Go browser. He made a comment some number of days ago. Even I forgot what I meant by that, so I went back and watched that video, and there was a question from someone asking if anyone uses DuckDuckGo search engine. But I thought they were talking about a browser, and I think I had recently seen your Johnny Be Good trailer. And that's why he put in the Go Johnny Go browser. It was not a serious name of a browser at all. Thank you, Matthew. I'll give him a thumbs up and a heart. In short, I was confused and didn't know what I was doing. That's one of the memes on this here channel. Speedy C says, hi, Doug. I remember using WordPerfect back in my college days, if my memory serves me correct, the tail end of 1990 right through 1993. Yeah, it was around then. That doesn't tell me whether you're doing WordPerfect or DOS or WordPerfect for Windows. Those are very different programs. WordPerfect had a blue background. That would be the DOS version with gray text. If you wish to view command codes would appear at the bottom half of the screen. I want to say that was Alt F4 or the F11 key. On the bottom half of the screen, that in turn creates a red line. That denotes the center of the screen and moves your working text up somewhat while in use until you cancel the commands that you're helping to format behind the scene. That was a blast from my past. Now, some people never realized that you could actually move that border. If you wanted a smaller reveal code section or a larger reveal code sections, you could move the border between them. I think on the DOS version, you probably had to go into a menu command to do that. On the Windows version, you could drag it. I think. We don't really care. All the best from Speedy. Thank you, Speedy. Eunice Cool from the video repairing HP all-in-one that won't turn on. Says, excuse me, what if I try to turn on the power button but I don't hear a sound or a light coming out of it? Okay, so let's get some ideas now. Now, I don't know if that was on an HP all-in-one, but I'll start with that assumption. And I did come across some of those. The power supply component within the computer can be replaced. So it could be the power supply component. It could be the AC adapter that you're using, because those would plug into the wall. Then they had a power brick and they plug into the computer. That's the easiest to replace and to test. You could test it if you have a voltmeter. I believe the outside barrel is a plus side and the inside is the negative side. You can see if it's supplying power through there. Now, of course, I don't know whether you're a technician or a normal, but I guess in any case, you should still ask, well, what is it plugged into? What is the power adapter plugged into? Is it plugged into a power strip? Have you checked that plug with some other device to make sure that plug is live? Is there a power switch on that power strip? I've even come across occasions, is the power strip actually plugged into the wall? And is that wall outlet providing power? So I'm going to assume that you probably already checked those. Now, what is there anything other than the AC adapter and where the power is coming from that could be the problem? Of course, yes, there is. It can be a motherboard issue. The power button on those is not a physical mechanical power button. It's an electronic button. If there's something wrong with the motherboard, that could be preventing it from turning on. So if you were, for instance, if you had other of these same model HP all-in-ones or whatever your computer is, if you have something else that uses the same power adapter, you could plug into that other device and see if you can verify that the power adapter works. And vice versa, you could plug in a known good AC power adapter into that computer to see if it works. So if you want to contact back with more information about that, we'll try to give you some more ideas to work with. You can send me video or pictures. You can send me an email at this address. We'd love to, help pick through this with you to try to find a solution for you. I will respond to him later on this comment and give him a timestamp to where we responded to him. Now let's go see if chat room has responses for him. Nope, chat room hasn't added anything else there that I missed. Why is that 9:12? Is that really so old? Am I still streaming? Am I here? Can somebody say hello to me in SpeakerBot? I don't know. Drop frame 0. I think I'm still here. Let's see, I don't have this monitoring screen actually running yet. Let's refresh that. I still didn't hear a SpeakerBot running yet. Oh, yeah, I just got a confirmation myself. So yeah, now you're telling me you can hear me. Of course, there's the delay. Hello in SpeakerBot.
Said hello.
Thank you, Alice.
Said hello to me in SpeakerBot.
Oh, now they're going to keep going for a while. You are up to date, so nobody else was talking about that
Zvimanor said
question.
You are here.
Thank you. I are here. I am here with the letter M instead of the word A-M.
Said hi.
All right. I got the message. You can stop now. Then after replying, I'll give him a thumbs up in the heart, him or her. Islander Jur YT. From a Saturday's show. Oh, this is from Sam. It says, thank you for responding to my email. Very kind to explain and share your knowledge with me. I'll ping you one back in response. I'm not quite remembering Sam's issue. Oh, yes, it was the BCD. It was the BCD edit and the RAM drive issue. Oh, let's turn off that email address before that gets annoying. Coming back to chat comments. Let's see. I gave him, I made him a approved user. Yeah. And let's see, this Yun's cool. I'll make always approve comments because that's a legitimate. Actually, I'm going to go look and see how old that channel is, because that's one of the things I'm concerned with. That channel's plenty old enough to not be the troll. Okay, then what's next? Yaren says, you are awesome. Wow, thank you, Yaren. Commenter asks, why does my virus total column in auto runs show errors? So apparently that helped Yaren somehow. I'm going to go check and see how old that channel is. And yes, that is old enough to not be our troll. So I will give... Oh, I already did approved user for Yaren. I'll reply to that comment later with a timestamp to this point in the video. Then I have, I think, an email. Yes, I do, from Greg M. Jenny B in chat. Oh, good. Glad to see you, Jenny B. Let's go fix that because I didn't fix your status. Jenny B, I'm pretty easy with it. As soon as somebody is shown to be good around here, good people around here, will make you a moderator, which means you'll be able to put links into chat. Now, I do not request that you go hide people and discipline people. I prefer to do that myself because I'm very much in touch with the chat room. I'm not doing good. My neck hurts. Sorry to hear that, Tim. So the old doctor thing where the patient says, when I raise my arm up, it hurts. Doctor says, don't raise your arm. So Tim says his neck hurts. Don't use your neck. Nothing we can tell him not to do. He says he think he slept wrong. All right, let's see. Oh, I didn't get through Greg M's comment. I got this moved so that it doesn't show his email address. Came across this WordPerfect deal because my conversation, what I was talking to you about on Saturday about a client that needs WordPerfect, and thought of that husband and wife client whose computers you replace with B-Link mini computers. No idea if this is any use to you. For the husband's new B-Link, it's WordPerfect 2021. And the answer was no, we won't be doing that because that's there's a much lower cost for an older version of WordPerfect, and that's going to be closer to what they were actually using. So yeah, thank you, but no, we'll be passing on that. And this link did not work out. This link, you said our reader's favorite VPN is just $3 per month. When I clicked on that, it didn't take me to the WordPerfect. And I'm imagining you probably saw an advertisement for WordPerfect when you went to this link. So you gave me the link, but I'm not going to see the same ads as you because Google's going to serve me ads differently than it serves to you. Now, where am I going next? I don't think hey, the wallpaper for today from Bing. Oh, I love this. And when I looked up where that is, I realized, hey, I've been there. And you've got to wonder how much these pictures are doctored up, but this Carlsbad Caverns does look pretty stunning in person. I'm not sure that it's quite that stunning. So this is a walkway leading into the big room.
Explanation of yesterday's canceled show.
Oh, all right. We'll get to that, Ken. Yeah, Carlsbad Caverns in National Park, New Mexico. I have a nephew that lives in New Mexico. He's part of our Friday night Brothers and Beer Zoom session. Let's get back here. Yeah, Ken asked for explanation of yesterday's canceled show. Do what I can to help out. What else do we have in between? Remain optimistic. If you look back, oh, yeah, turning and such can be an issue with neck problems. Ad blocker enabled all the time. That is weird. Yeah, so Greg M, was it an advertisement that you're trying to show? Or I don't think you were trying to give me that VPN link. Of course, when you pasted that into your comment, it oh no, not the comment, it's the email. Yeah, when you pasted that into the email, it pasted as from the site inventory.com and a reader's VPN. So yeah, that was weird. Yesterday's canceled show. Yeah. That was, I think I had talked to you about the security cameras that were having a problem. On Sunday night, I got this idea, and I connected remotely to one of their computers to see if that would work. And I'm working to bring up my iCloud photos here. And it did. I connected to one of the office computers and found the other computers using ARP to query all the IP addresses on the network. And because I got the idea that those cameras must be out there somewhere. Oh, I didn't tell you about the Saturday work that I did after Saturday's show. I went out there and worked on figuring out where the Ethernet cables go to. I think I mentioned on Saturday's show that I think each of those Ethernet cables should be a home run to the cameras out there. Wrong. There were only 3 of those Ethernet cables across the 2 16-port switches that were able to disable any of the cameras, and each of those handled multiple cameras, as much as one of them had 4 cameras on it. So that Ethernet cable goes out somewhere, and there must be a network switch out there that splits them up, or those cameras are daisy chained, where they have an Ethernet coming in to one RJ45 port and an Ethernet going out from an RJ45 port to the next camera. So the ones that are not working, I was theorizing at that point, the network switches out there might not be working. Maybe they lost power. If they're trying to run off of the power over Ethernet, then maybe there's something else going wrong with them. Maybe there's another cable damage problem. But it was 9 cameras that were missing. So it just seemed odd that they all went out at the same time. I wasn't really comfortable with that solution. So then when I connected remotely, I did ARP-A, I think is the command. I'll go demonstrate that on Big Beast here. ARP space -A to find all the IP addresses that are visible to this computer. So when I did that, it came up with 8 addresses. But at that point in time, there were, I think, 11 cameras working. Am I saying this right? No, the number that I came up with here correlated to the number of cameras that were missing. So I thought it was those cameras. So then I just went to a web browser and put in that IP address, and boom, it connects straight to that camera and I can see it. No password protection on the cameras. And I found that the cameras that were showing up here were the ones that were working. No, I was on one of the office computers. God, it was 3 days, 4 days ago, whatever. It was the cameras that were missing that showed up here. So I went and connected to all of them through the web browser on that office worker's computer that I was connected remotely. All of the missing cameras were on this list. None of the cameras that were actually functioning were on this list. Well, then I pretty quickly realized, well, they're on a separate subnet. The computers in the office were on 10.
J3N said this guy seems confused.
The ones that were on the office computers were 10.1.10.x. The cameras were on 192.168.0.x. So that computer was not seeing the 192.168 subnet. So then I right-clicked on that office worker's network connection down here in the system tray, go to network and internet settings. Now it was on, no, actually that computer was Windows 10. Yeah, so I went to control panel because I just don't like doing this work through Windows 11 in their native interface. So go to control panel and then network and sharing center, and then go to change adapter settings, and then go to the Ethernet connection properties, or right click on the Ethernet connection properties, go to IP version 4 and then properties. And he had a static IP address. Now, this is an office where I've mentioned in the past that there's 2 or 3 DHCP servers in there that seems to be handing out addresses. Well, I've figured that out now. It's actually only 1 DHCP server. No, 2 DHCP servers. But the cameras and the office computers are using static IP addressing because of the fighting DHCP servers. But anyway, so he had static IP address. What I'll did with him is go into advanced and added, at this point I'd see his static IP address. I'd come in here and add a IP address for the other subnet, the 192.168.0. And then I gave him an address, I don't know what to, I'll answer your question, Greg, in a moment. I put in the other IP subnet, 192.168.0. And I made up a last octet for his computer. So then I go back and do ARP-A, and it comes up with all of the addresses, including the cameras that are functional and the cameras that are not functional. So then I realized, all right, this is the problem that we're having. So I went out to the security desk computer and did the same thing on the next day, on Monday. That's why I canceled yesterday's show, because I needed to go do that yesterday morning because my afternoon was already booked. So that's why I canceled the show, because I didn't have any other room in the day yesterday to go do that. I needed to do it in the morning. So I went over to the security desk and did that. Now, there was another problem with the resolution of the cameras in the office computer when I connect remotely to it. When I brought those cameras up on screen, they at first were blank. I had to lower the resolution, lower the frames per second, 2 frames per second. It couldn't keep up with 20 some odd frames per second was the default choice. So then I thought that might be an issue too at the security desk. Turns out the security desk did not have that problem. So after I did the second IP subnet on the network adapter for the security desk, all the cameras came up. So that was a happy day. Now, why did they used to work and why are they not working now? I don't know. What I think we've tracked down close enough is that the cameras that were on the 192.168.0 subnet were installed many years separate from the cameras that are on the 10.1.10 subnet. We ought to have all of them on the 192.168.0 subnet so that that computer at the security desk could not communicate or gain access to the office computers. But they're so closely overseen there that, and there's nobody ever at the security desk that has that level of computer capabilities. And there's nothing that they could get to on those local workstations because all of their important data are in cloud-based systems that require passwords. So, now let's go. Yeah, Ran Israel, am I understanding correctly? 2 IP subnets on the same physical network with no router in between? Yes. Now, the original intention, the original design, and there were other cooks in the kitchen. This wasn't all my doings. There were 2 network switches, and the intention was that the security cameras would be on a separate network and isolated from the office computers. But as things developed with all the different cooks in the kitchen, those were eventually bridged together. But you can have multiple different IP subnets on this communicating through the same physical network, and you can configure the computers so that even through one Ethernet adapter, they can communicate with multiple IP subnets. And I have a few occasions where I've done that. Now, why 2 DHCP servers? And this was also something that happened over time. And as they've moved people around and not been in communication with me, things got mixed up. So once I figured out over this last weekend what the two DHCP servers are, here's what it is. One is the Comcast router, which hands out, theoretically should be handing out the addresses for the in-office computers. The other is a Wi-Fi router that many, many years ago I installed in an office that is down a hallway behind a locked door. And the purpose of that was to have it hand out internet accessible Wi-Fi IP addresses to the residents. This is one of those low income disability senior citizens, government subsidized housing units. They wanted to have Wi-Fi available for their residents in that room. We wanted that to be isolated from the office network. So that router is out there. It's been forgotten. I don't think it's no longer used for that. I tried to go out and get into that room over the weekend. It was locked. I couldn't get into it. I had been blaming this incorrectly on the security camera system for a couple years now, thinking that their server was handing out IP addresses to their cameras. Since then, I have found no, that's not the case. Their cameras are configured with static IP addresses. They don't pick up DHCP. At least that's what they told me. You know what? I can verify that because some of those cameras are on the Comcast network. So I can just go into the DHCP status panel in the Comcast server and see if it has assigned dynamic addresses to those devices. So yeah, in the real world, things get a little messy over time, particularly when you're in an environment where the client is very, very cost conscious and wants to keep costs down. So there's not a lot of formal structure and advanced planning and meetings over how we're going to do things. They just kind of grow organically. Now, what did I miss? This is where documentation needs to be done. Yeah, they're gonna have to pay for that. That documentation takes time. Now, it would have saved me from having to do this work over the weekend to figure out where things are. But the problem there is that means back when anytime that they made changes with their security cameras, anytime a copy machine technicians got involved, I would have to be supervising each of those and doing the documentation for each of those other cooks that get into my kitchen. Some kind of tool send the signal to a camera that you unplug. I can't unplug the cameras. Let's see. Well, some kind of tool send the signal to a camera that you unplug to see if you get a connection. I do have a tool that gives me some capabilities in that, but I can't make any connection now at the camera site because they are installed in ceilings and walls. Tool if you're just not the kind of person. No, start looking for something like a hub that sends controls. Yeah, well, I did text messaging with the head of the security department over the weekend saying that I want to get together with somebody from maintenance who knows the building really well because we got to go find these connection points. And then subsequently, I got the bright idea to go exploring the IP addresses. And that turned out different than what my idea was, but it solved the issue. Free network scanner that does not have to be installed. It will show the devices, comes in handy. Advanced IP scanner. When you run it, there is no install option. That is very interesting to me. I will look at that. Yeah, because that ARP-A doesn't give me a whole lot of information about the devices out there. And once I saw those IP addresses, I just typed those into a browser and boom, it just connected to the cameras. And I recognize those as cameras that are not visible at the security desk. This is the word perfect link, $120. I found one that's under $100. I think it was for 2010. See, this is more recent. I have no reason to bring them up to that recent. But thank you for thinking of me, Greg. Answered that. Zavi Minor, I know that you're avoided to use third-party app for stop or pause updates. Yeah, I don't have any pain point right now regarding updates. Take control over Windows 10. Does this automatically postpone update Tuesday to the following Saturday every month without me having to connect? That's what would be interesting to me. Click the Stop Updates Windows Updates buttons. Yeah, if this is just a different way to do it, then without any advantage or not fixing any pain points for me, then I wouldn't go down that road. Oy vey. Better to sleep the computer for lunch and power off overnight. Per the IEEE, newer electronics are low power and the shock of startup is negligible. Well, that's totally believable. That's totally believable that there's some more current. Now, that would be for more current model computers. I have some computers out there that are in excess of 8 years old for my clients. Better to sleep the computer for lunch and power off overnight. Per the IEEE, newer electronics are low power and the shock of startup is negligible. Thank you, Gary. I don't... my clients who turn them off or leave them on, I don't argue it with them. It's just hasn't been that big of a pain point to get up in arms about, in my experience. So the DHCP servers are two separate networks. No, they're not. Originally they were in, actually no. The two separate subnets were intended originally to be separate networks since there were two switches. But then over time, they got bridged. Also, a reason for that is because we wanted when we got to the point where I developed a check-in, check-out Microsoft Access database for the security desk, the security manager at his office computer wanted to have network access to those reports. So we had to let those networks talk to each other at that point. And we really weren't concerned about hacking. And I mean, come on. The people at the security desk, if there's a hacker mentality that's going to be at that desk, they have keys to the office. They could just walk into the office and use one of those computers if they're going to do criminal activity. So just wasn't needed. And the two DHCP servers, I was incorrect in prior couple of years thinking that the security camera server was an actual Windows server with handing out DHCP IP addresses. Not the case. The second DHCP was that forgotten Wi-Fi router that was basically daisy-chained. It was downstream from the network switch, plugged in just like it was a computer to the WAN port, to the internet port of that Wi-Fi router, and then it handed out DHCP addresses to its Wi-Fi clients on a different, and I think it's 192.168, 192.168.1.x, because I remember I said that there's two or more, because there's been 3 subnets that I've seen. There's a 10.1.10.1, and there's a 192.168.0, and there's a 192.168.1 subnet. Map of the system and what you know about it. Now that would take some creativity. Put a computer.
It's connected via one port. It doesn't offer DHCP services for the one side. Hence 2 networks.
Yeah, I'll get to your comment there in a moment, Rand. I'm going to finish this one first. I think you really need a map. Now I am documenting what I have so far, and I put labels on the wires that I identified up there at the network switch. I have them labeled with the names of the cameras that those connect to. And I also found some extra connections up there that we just don't need at all. Overnight power off, rest, breaks, sleep, wax on, wax off. What I do with Big Beast and Baby Beast is I use Hibernate to shut them down into a hibernate state, and then I give my ALEXA device a command to turn off both computers. Be sure she wasn't awake when I said that, because that turns off the power at the computers. And I do that because these computers take more power than the average computer, and it actually shows on my power bill. Really good tips. My PC is now 6 years old, but I would carry this out for a newer PC. I want to replace this PC eventually in the near future, I hope. We've had that conversation with Alice a few times. And that's coming. She'll do that, and that'll be a fun day when we see that. Rand to Alice, a wise man once said, a computer with something to do should be on. A computer with nothing to do should be off. All that's left is to define the criteria for it has nothing to do that fits you. Yeah, all right. I've had occasions where I leave computers on simply because I want to be able to walk up to them and instantly do what I need to do. Most of my clients leave their computers on 24/7. In my neck of the woods, no Wi-Fi, using jammers. In my neck of the woods, no Wi-Fi, using jammers. There's jammers active in his area, so he can't do Wi-Fi. Is that what he's saying? Crews smash glass, use jammers to break into high-end Metro Detroit homes. Oh, all right. Oh, I see. So you don't want your home security devices to be on Wi-Fi, I think is what he's saying. I wanted to get to Rand's more recent comment. What was that? Because it's connected via WAN port, it doesn't offer DHCP servers for the WAN side, hence two networks. Yeah, what I mean there, Rand, is on Wi-Fi devices, I have seen 192.168.1. Now, those devices would not be able to connect to the computers that are upstream of the WAN port on that Wi-Fi router. So yeah, they're two isolated networks. But because I was seeing in their site, I was seeing at their site 192.168.0, 192.168.1, 10.1.10, I didn't have a clear picture of where those were coming from. But you're absolutely right. The computers that are downstream of that Wi-Fi router would not be able to access the computers in the office. Good point. Good point to bring up. When I was a student, I left that PC on standby or sleep mode. When I took breaks, the PC lasted me a good while. It only got busted after a thunderstorm. It wrecked the PC. Did you have a good surge protector? And I say good surge protector because some people have a power bar and think it's a surge protector, or they have a surge protector that has experienced multiple power outages and surges. They wear out. They don't last forever. When they experience actually protecting equipment from surges, that wears them out. They're supposed to be replaced. Now I'm saying that from understanding of that's came from what I recollect as being authoritative sources, so I'm going to be interested to see if any of you refute that. That's my understanding. They wear out over time, so having old surge protectors, they ought to be replaced. Switches, though, do not isolate networks unless you do VLANs on a managed switch. Yeah, virtual LANs. I think he probably spelled that wrong. I think it's VLANs. So what he meant to say, virtual LANs, that's how you would separate them and prevent them from being able to talk to each other. But however, if you use that advanced IP address, put in a second IP network on your oh no, that's still, because the VLANs on a network switch, it prevents the electrical signals from crossing over. They don't do an unmanaged switch. All the ports can see all of the traffic, but with VLANs, you can electronically separate the ports from each other so that there is no electrical signals going from ports that are on one VLAN to ports on another VLAN. That's right. Absolutely. I have not done a lot with managed switches. I've done some work with them. At work, servers, drives, switches never reboot or turn off. At work, servers
Gary Weisenberg
and
said, "Gotta
drives.
Go see you later, Gator."
See ya, Gary. Thanks. Let's see. What are we doing? Oh my gosh. We've been on not an hour 50. We've been 50 minutes. All right. Skipping through a little bit. Oh my gosh, how much is there here that I have to catch up with after the show? Oh well. I assume that you've given me a speaker bot if there's anything that you really wanted me to go attend to. There's a redirect set up to go to Ken Stout's premiere that starts in 8 minutes and 35 seconds. But who's counting? Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.